Hi, how are you? Valerie Knight from The Breeze. And I'm really thrilled today because I have a guest here from the Book of Mormon, now playing at Broadway, Philadelphia. The Book of Mormon, just another great show in the Broadway, Philadelphia series. It's playing now at the Academy of Music through June 9th. You can get your tickets at kimmelcenter.org. Do not miss this hilarious musical. First, let me say hello and welcome to Jacques C. Smith. Jacques C. Smith.
Thank you, Valerie, for having me.
Thank you for coming in here. He is Mafala Hatimbi of Uganda, the village elder in the Book of Mormon. The Book of Mormon is from the creators of South Park. Now, if you know anything about South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are an irreverent couple of guys. The Book of Mormon, out in 2011, originally won 9 Tonys, including Best Musical, Best Score, Best Book, and Best Direction, but not for the faint of heart.
Not at all. Like, it's a fantastic musical. And for anybody who's actually seen episodes of South Park, if you like that style of humor, you will absolutely love this musical. And for fans of musicals who might say, oh, I've never seen South Park or I don't know it, we still give you in the Book of Mormon all of the classic elements of a great Broadway musical. Fantastic costumes, great dance numbers, ballads, and a wonderful story. So it's a can't miss, like, win-win proposition for anybody who loves theater.
Absolutely. The rousing numbers, the dialogue, the dancing, but it's a dirty little show. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. The dialogue is, not for the faint of heart.
You mean that in the best way possible,
I do,
right?
because you just laugh all through the whole thing. It's kind of, I don't want to say an indictment, that's a big word, but it makes light of various Mormon beliefs and practices, but ultimately endorses the power of love.
No, it's definitely a musical that deals with love, and I think it's a show that presents a message of goodwill to everyone. What happens, this Book of Mormon is a story about 2 Mormon missionaries who are sent on their mission to kind of go out and change the world. And we see right from the beginning, one elder has a specific place he wants to go. And that place is Orlando. Because he loves the idea of Disney. But he ends up getting sent to Uganda, which is where I live, and our whole tribe is there. And just like real life, there is a gap between expectations and reality. So he wanted one thing to happen, and what happened is quite different, and that's where hilarity ensues in this show. And so we watch him take that journey. But what you see is this fantastic show of mismatches and unexpected surprises.
Absolutely.
And underneath all of that, you see that this show has a great heart, and it's about listening to and learning from people who aren't like you.
Right.
And it's so great to experience. And like you said, there will be few times where your jaw will drop.
Yeah, but you're laughing.
And you're like,
laughing your
in
the
best way possible.
You really are. So it's really about 2 worlds colliding, because these young Mormons, and they're hysterical, they get to Uganda where life is not great. There's AIDS, there's poverty.
Absolutely.
There's hunger. But they're singing.
Exactly.
Of course, it's a Broadway musical.
People, right, and you see people smile through all of that.
And they're singing
trouble.
about their misery, and that's where the words come in, the words that you might go, oh.
Exactly.
But you're laughing.
Yeah, and we often see audience members who are shocked and surprised, and that lets us know, honestly, that we're doing our job, because I personally believe that art should elicit a response. And so this show does a wonderful job of making you feel something while you're there. And so the fact that you leave, and one of the best compliments that we get, sometimes I leave the theater and I see people and I hear them say, oh, my cheeks hurt from laughing so
that's
hard.
Great.
I'm like, that's the
best
thing
you
you
right?
could hear, honestly. So 2.5 hours of, like, big smiles and great time.
Well, since you said that, I know you've been in Rent and If Then on Broadway.
Yes.
And so you have that theater, that immediate experience. But you've also been on TV, Oz, CSI Miami, General Hospital, Law and Order, ER, American Masters. So do you like theater the best?
There is something that I do love about theater, and you mentioned it in this introduction. You said the immediate response. There is something about that, because if I tell a joke or say a line in theater, the audience gets it right there. When I'm doing television, I get 4 or 5 times to say a line. And, like, we do several takes, and then even still, the director and the editor gets to choose which of those 5 takes they put
So it's
on
out of
TV.
your hands.
Yeah, so I don't even know which one it's going to be until I see it. I'm like, oh, they chose that take. But in theater, it's immediate. And if I forget a line, nobody gets to call cut. It's like we've got to work our way out of it, And so that's what's exciting about theater, just the pressure of delivering for that audience of 2,500 every single night. And although I had a great show last night,
Oh, it was great.
if I come in and forget something today, like I can't say, well, last night I was fantastic. For those 2,500
you're as good
people,
as your
I've gotta
last
do it.
show, right?
Exactly.
Right, Jacques? You're as
But
good
it's
as your
great.
last show.
Yeah.
So you play a village elder, although you're a young man. You don't look
Oh,
like an
that's
elder.
so
Oh,
sweet of
come
you
on,
to
you don't look
say.
like. But
Oh
your
my
daughter
gosh.
has the girl that plays the woman that plays your daughter. It has a pivotal role. Well, you all kind of have a pivotal role. Wait, where was I going to go with that? How do you, I know what I want to ask you. How do you make it different every night? You just mentioned about well, last night I was good. Well, how do you, for your own self, to keep it fresh in your own mind, your part, how do you, you make it different every night?
That's a great question. It's a very subtle difference every night, Valerie, because the framework, the bones are the bones. And so we still have to have that framework every night. There are certain elements that change for us. The audience reactions makes it different every night because we're a comedy. So we're listening for laughs and waiting for laughs. And if the laughs aren't there, it's like, uh-oh. You kind of keep going and you kind of adjust that way. Because it's a long-running show, sometimes there are different people on stage because we have understudies or people who take vacations, and so they're out. So you actually saw last night Jacob, who played our Elder Cunningham, isn't the guy who plays it all the time because our normal Elder Cunningham is a little under the weather.
Oh, how about that? Well, you would have never known. Everyone's terrific.
Everybody in the cast is so talented, but when he's there, it's a different energy. So when you get a different energy as an actor, you react differently.
Okay.
So that creates a subtle difference. And the pressure you put on yourself as an artist to deliver your A game all the time. So even when you're tired, it's like I said, there's a new group of 2,500 people who have never seen me do this. So I can't say I was great last week, when we were in Schenectady. I have to be good tonight in Philadelphia, and I have to be good tomorrow in Philadelphia. So it's just that pressure. And all of those things keep it new enough for all of us. And it's a wonderful show.
It is.
So it's fun to do. It's a great time to do, and that's what keeps it.
It is a
moving.
wonderful show. This book, see the Book of Mormon tickets.
Please.
Yes, so you can get your tickets at kimmelcenter.org right now. It's through June 9th at the Academy of Music. Now, there are, as I mentioned before, the songs, the dialogue. There's some pretty racy dialogue, even though it's joyous and fun. Is it cathartic for you to yell that kind of stuff out? And I'm talking about, we can't say it here,
Right.
but is it cathartic for you to yell?
Right.
You
It's fun to do because the response that it often elicits from the audience. But then again, like as an actor, you have to remember where this character is that makes him want to say that, or that makes this village have to say those things. And so it does become great because really they're dealing with the worst problems they can imagine. And it's kind of how it gets them through each of these times. So you have to think like what really makes that person do that. And that's, that's very actory of me like to say it that way, but that's kind of what helps do it. And we do get a personal kick out of knowing that the audience literally has never heard anything like that in a musical
exactly.
before.
It's
Ever.
unbelievable.
They've never heard it.
Unbelievably hysterical. Do you rehearse? Because there's so many numbers. It's such an energetic show. Thanks for getting up this morning. You must be tired.
Oh, no, it's our pleasure because we definitely, as great and as successful as the show has been, we still want new people to come to the show, and so we have to get the word out. And we do rehearse. It's not often that I rehearse because I'm on stage and I'm in what they call a principal role all the time. So often we have our understudies rehearsing. The person who would play my role if I was on vacation or if I was sick, that person rehearses every week. We often have new people coming into the show because it's a long-running show that's been on tour for almost 7 years
Yeah,
now.
really.
So we're bringing in new people, and they rehearse every week. And then every so often, we get called into a vocal rehearsal or a choreography cleanup, or when someone new is coming in, we're there at their last rehearsal. So it changes, but there is rehearsal happening every week, and it just depends on what your role is, whether you're there every week or whether you end up coming once a month or so.
How long is the tour? How long are you on tour?
I've been on tour personally for a year. This show has actually been on tour for close to 7 years,
Yeah.
and we just in the fall celebrated the 5 millionth patron of this tour alone.
Wow.
Not including the Broadway shows or the shows overseas. This tour has had over 5 million people see it.
Wow.
And right now we have dates, or if you look at our website, all the way until August of next year.
Wow. And
Yeah.
do you ever, so you can only do, dumb question, one show at a time, right?
Yes,
So Book of Mormon
yes.
has been your show for some
Absolutely,
time.
yeah, because it's a full-time job. Like, 8 shows a week, 6 days a week, and the day we don't do the show is a travel day. So on the Monday, usually we're going to the next city. So you're right, it's a full-time job.
Do you hang out together?
We do, because we're traveling to new cities. So it's not like we, live in that city. So we find great museums, great restaurants, great sporting events.
You'll find all
whatever
that
there's
here
to
in
do.
Philly. I hope you had an
exactly. I love
opportunity.
Philly.
Philly's
I
a
love
great
Philly,
city
too.
for all of those things that you just mentioned.
Exactly, and I might gain 3 or 4 pounds before I leave Philly. Too. It's great
Well,
food.
you can dance it off in the Book of Mormon. It's such a terrific show. Let me make sure I get everything because I enjoyed it so much last night.
That's so great.
Do you get a standing O every night? And if you, it's the kind of show where, as a theater goer, you just want to stand up and go, "Wow, that was great." But if you and if you don't, like you said, you go like, "Ooh."
Yeah, we generally get standing
Like,
ovations
maybe not in Utah.
every night. Yeah, you know what? This show is going back to Salt Lake City, and it's played there before in August.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentlemen and women who have played that city with this show before said it's the best city to play.
How about that?
Believe it or not, so I am looking forward to doing this show in Salt Lake City. Like,
Well,
they
I've
said
been.
it's like a rock
I'll tell you, I've
concert.
been to Utah a lot. I go to the Sundance Film Festival every
of
year,
course, yes.
Park City, and Salt Lake is not far. We stayed in Salt Lake this past January, and I went to. They have a lot. They have a lot of arts are good in Salt
Mm-hmm.
Lake. So
Yeah, they
There
say
you
they love
go.
it because I think they get the jokes better than any other crowd because they know the Mormon culture more intimately than any other city or region in this country. So, like, I think that's part of
So
the
they get
reason
it. Yeah, you know what?
It resonates there more
having
than
having
anywhere
been a
else.
visitor there for many years, I kind of get it too. You know, it's anyway. So the Book of Mormon is through June 9th at the Academy of Music. It's absolutely wonderful. If you've never seen any Broadway show in New York or anywhere, this is the one that you should go see. And thank you to Jacques B. Smith, who plays
Mafala Hatimbi.
a village elder, and hysterically, I might add. And thank you so much.
Thank
and
you, Valerie.
Break a leg, you never did you?
No,
You know, I looked
not
I
physically.
looked up the origin of break a leg before you came in, and it's it's obscure, or unless
Really?
you know
You're right.
something
No,
I don't know.
I think there are like several stories out there that say what it is, and I'm not sure exactly what.
But you don't really want to break a leg, even though it's some kind of good
But
luck
we
thing.
do say it, right? Exactly.
Anyway, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Continued
Thank you.
success.
Mhm.